Yo, and welcome back to the Banter Boys podcast. My name is Sanji, with me is Ras. How you doing, boy?
Welcome. You know, it was like minus 25 yesterday.
Yeah, my mother told me it was negative 27, feeling like negative 31. I'm so glad that Trudeau told me to fuck off. Basically.
He was like, he helped you, like, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
did me a solid.
I'm looking out for you, Sanji.
Yeah, 100%. Like, you don't have that vision 2020, you know? I mean, well, 3030. Sorry, we're already past the year 2020, so. But yeah, I definitely do not miss the winter, Ross. How's that going for you, buddy?
Man, like, our furnace has kind of been on the fritz, too. So, like, we've got, like, 2 or 3 spot heaters and stuff like that. So, it's not the best time for your furnace to start giving you troubles.
Man, you're overworking that bad boy. Clearly.
Yeah, that's worrying. Obviously, because it's so cold.
Do you not have like a chimney?
No, it's like it's an external exhaust. So it's an external exhaust that kind of puts the air in, and then like the furnace does its magic. I actually don't know how a furnace works. I should know. I should figure that out. And then it does that, and then like spits out hot air, and then it doesn't really spit out hot air right now. So
yeah, wow, that sucks. I mean, you could always start a bonfire in the back of your house. You've got a lovely yard, you know.
Yeah, it's a pretty big yard, but like there's like bylaws and shit, man. Like whatever. I'm not messing with that. Next thing I know, I have an like, you know, bylaw officer knocking on my door being like, put out the fire or I will fine you like $5,000. I'm like, okay. Sorry.
It's okay. Everyone's breaking rules these days, bro. Boris Johnson, Trudeau.
Yeah. Parties.
I mean, we're not a political pod, but I mean, like.
Oh, you're in the UK, so you probably hear about it all the time. The parties that happen and all these people attending.
Yeah. I heard about it all the time. I don't give a fuck, but you know. Like, but I heard Boris fucked up, so I'm like, all right, cool. I guess we're not giving a shit about COVID anymore. So like, let's just go out and party now. You know.
Pretty much. Yeah.
How was your New Year's, by the way? Happy New Year to you and to all our listeners.
Happy New Year's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Shit. Or true. Yeah, this is the first time
we've not recorded in a while, bro.
Quiet. Didn't do much. Things started like kind of closing down after New Year's, so didn't really do much. I was working before and after, so it was pretty low key.
Yeah, I was working on an assignment on All Year's Night. I basically stayed at home, did nothing for New Year's. And then over the last couple of weeks, just been working on assignments and exams. I mean, some of our listeners know because they've been like messaging me for help, and I've just been like, bro, fuck off. Like, I've got work to do. Not like fuck off, but like, I'm busy, you know? Like,
please fuck off.
Yeah, kindly. Yeah. But I've been busy. School started back this week as well. So I'm not seeing any dead bodies, but, you know, learning about my new courses and the fact that I've got so much work coming up. Not looking forward to it, but also looking forward to it, sort of thing. Yeah. It'll be nice to be busy again. Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Busy without the disappointment of fantasy, which we're going to discuss for this pod.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So before we start, though, you want to maybe plug our socials and remind people where they can find our awesome stuff? I remembered this time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't have to remind you. I forgot.
I got you, boo.
So, listeners, you can message us on Twitter and Instagram at BantaB, on Discord on the DraftPL channel, BantaBoys, #6585, and on Reddit, u/Banta_boys. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, and YouTube, all under the name of Banta Boys.
So if this is your first time listening to the Banter Boys podcast, welcome. We talk everything Fantrax related and sometimes OFPL draft, but I feel like every time we mention sometimes OFPL draft, we really never talk about OFPL draft, so maybe I should stop saying that? I don't know. I mean, I do help some of our listeners with OFPL draft questions, so we just never get those questions, which is weird.
And then Ryan asks you just FPL related questions.
Achim. Yeah. But I think since I scolded him for it, he just stopped completely. Now I feel bad. But yeah, we basically talk everything Fantrax, and we basically run the pod in like 2 segments. First off, second half, halftime pint in between. In the first half, we usually do like a bit of a data dump in the previous game week, and then we kind of catch up in our leagues, see how shit went, if we made any special moves, waiver picks, trades, that sort of stuff. And then in the second half, we discuss whatever Twitter questions we get from our loyal fans and listeners, and then we suggest waiver picks to go through. And, sometimes we throw in some fun random segments when we're bored and shit like that. But yeah. But as always, before we get started, we still like to, have a little bit of banter. Russ, I heard you had some waiver issues this week, buddy. What happened?
I mean, not issues, but the general practice is that waivers don't, if there's a double game week, even if there's a blank game week, waivers don't clear until after the game week was over. Because there was such a big gap on between the game week fixtures, I think there's 5-day gap between them. I didn't check. Next thing I know, Coutinho's gone and whoever's gone, the Everton new fullback Miliarenko, whoever. He's gone.
That guy.
I had Matty Target. I wanted to really pick up Luca Dean, who was available, but he was also gone. So whatever. And I kind of brought it up, hey Ryan, I thought the waivers it's kind of weird that the waivers didn't clear until after the game week ended. And he was like, yeah, I saw it, but then too many moves had happened. And then I was like, oh, I don't know what I should do. Everyone who had picked up players was okay with it. So I'm like, I think maybe Alex was he had an issue with it, but at the same time, you're just whatever, things happen, I'm more focused on my other league in which I'm first in, so.
You still first, baby? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Do I need to move back to the league so I can dethrone you? Is that what's happening?
I think I beat you too, man.
Oh, them is finding words, fam.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, you're a pretty good manager. But okay, what was your waiver position in the Banner Boys League?
Probably not particularly high, but I'm one of the more active ones anyways when I set my waivers, so I can usually get my pick of my choice. Because of that, I feel maybe I could have gotten a player or two that I really wanted, but couldn't get anyone. I think I ended up picking up El Ghazi on a free agent.
Oh god, yeah. I can't wait to discuss him later in the pod.
Yeah, I don't know. I picked him up. I'm like, let's see how he goes. Maybe he'll get more playing time.
Maybe it's because they're shittier people to play against. That's basically what it
exactly.
is. Exactly. You mentioned Neeraj, one of our OG boys from the OG League, also had a bit of trouble with some of his waiver picks, and it's probably a situation that I know I've ran into in the past, in previous seasons. Maybe managers are aware of this situation, but yeah, you want to run through that quickly.
So we've discussed this on a previous episode. The idea is that when you make your picks, depending on how the commissioner set up your league, if your pick leads to an illegal roster, the pick won't go through. So Neeraj was dropping a defender and picking up a midfielder, and that led to him having less than 3 starting defenders on his lineup, and that's an illegal roster move. And because I think there's a toggle on and off somewhere in the commissioner setting.
Yeah, there is.
And if that happens, that means your move doesn't go through. Everyone assumed Neeraj was going to come pick up Coutinho because he had the most fab money. There was no kind of doubt about that. But he was, it's really unfortunate because he lost out on Ronaldo.
I know, I was just going to mention that.
Yeah.
He's having a terrible season when it comes to waivers, man.
Neeraj, I'm not trying to rub salt on the wounds. I'm just kind of mentioning the situation. So he did lose out on Coutinho. But I personally think it's a blessing in disguise.
Do you though?
Just because.
I don't know. How is that a blessing?
Coutinho's a fantastic player, but Coutinho isn't exactly... He's not properly match fit. He's been out of the Premier League, I'm thinking it's a blessing in disguise because maybe there might be 1 or 2 other players that might come towards the end of the window that would be much better picks that might be much better picks than Coutinho.
Like who? You have some insider information?
Apparently Arsenal really want to pick up a few players, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I'm hearing that. One of them is Arthur. But, I mean, he's been shit as well, so...
I don't
feel
know.
like
I don't
I
know.
would go Coutinho just because he has experience under Gerrard. I mean, this is one of our questions later on, so we can have a whole Coutinho debate a bit later on. But I don't know. Yeah, you know what? Let's save that for later. Let's save it for later.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I'm just saying maybe there might be some final. Newcastle's coming to good money. They've already made 3 big signings. 2 big signings? 3 big signings. Trippier,
2 big signings. No, Trippier and Chris Wood. Yeah. Who's
Wood.
the third one?
No one yet.
Yeah.
Or not yet, at least.
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. So
unless you count Eddie
you never
Howe
know.
as a signing. I don't know how that works.
Maybe not. But yeah, so you never know. Maybe Newcastle does something else.
Maybe. I mean, they have all the money in the world to spend right now, so
yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll jump into that Coutinho debate in a bit. Let's though, I think, jump into our first segment, the data dump.
Ay. Fantasy with the Banta Boys.
Okay, so we're looking back at game week 21, which was a double game week for only one team because Leicester decided to quote unquote cheat. I mean, the same way Liverpool cheated, but that's neither here nor there, right, Rouse?
Cheated? Are you an Arsenal fan now?
But apparently, I've got like 4 or 5 of their players in my squad. So they've been returning for me. Maybe
Arsenal fans are super mad about that.
Oh, definitely.
Necessarily though.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Well, looking at key passes to start us off, the highest number was 7, and that was by Matthias Cleek of Leeds. Then the second highest was by Emerson Royal. He had 6 of them. Then the next number was 5 key passes by Fornals and Mitchell from Crystal Palace, one of their fullbacks. And then 4 key passes by Buendia, Podence, and Trincao. Quick thoughts.
Small list this time.
Well, I mean, there were like a lot of 3s and a lot of 2s,
exactly.
but I didn't have the patience for that. So
even generally, even if you look at 4 above, we usually kind of see, and maybe so Royal. I feel like on paper or like on Fantrax he gets good points, but don't be sold by it because I feel like what I've read is Conte is extremely unimpressed with Royal and is wanting to bring in a new right wing back or a right back.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So Royal on paper gets a lot of points, but that doesn't translate on how he's actually playing. It seems like he's very wasteful. Does not really kind of put in the work into it, and is just a necessary part of his team right now because there's no one else. Which, yeah. I
mean, what else would you expect from a Barcelona player?
Yeah. But so my other side is that, like, his flip side is that he has Doherty, but I guess Doherty's kind of completely switched to the left wing back role.
Isn't Doherty going back to Wolves as well?
Is that also happening too? I was reading about that.
I heard that. Yeah.
But other than that, like, not that many big names. Podence, I think, ended up with like 20 points with no goals or no assists either. So
I feel like Podence is turning a bit of a corner at the moment.
Yeah.
Potentially. Yeah. And I mean, Neto is also back in training. So, Wolves might be on the up, as we like to say.
Hopefully.
Yeah, maybe. I picked up Click though when I saw he got like, I think, what was it, 9 points or something recently. Yeah. Before he got the 7 key pass game. I picked him up. I saw him starting. I was like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna pick him up. I mean, he did well. I still lost my game week, but he did well. So I was happy with that grab. And I think Leeds are also another team that's gonna be on the up. Bamford is coming back as well. Harrison finally scored after eons. So
yeah,
maybe
I picked
things
up
are
Dan
changing.
James. I feel like Dan James has also turned a corner.
Yeah. Another good pickup. I mean, he had that one blip the game week before, but other than that, he's been scoring decent points, I want to say.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, now we move on to shots and how many of those were on target. So the highest number of shots recorded was 6. 3 players attempted them. Bowen had 3 of them on target. Kane had 3 of them on target. And Roberts had 1 on target. Now remember, West Ham had the double game week, right? So the data for West Ham players might be a bit skewed. Okay, so
except the key passes for the last one for Fornals because he only played the 1 game.
Yeah, he only played the one game, but he's not been playing that well either, I think.
He hasn't been in the squad because of, I think, he had COVID. It wasn't confirmed, but I think he had COVID. He hasn't been playing for like 2-3 weeks because he's been missing from the squad altogether.
And I heard Vlasic is getting better as well. Like, he was really good in the cup game. We don't have the data for that, but I mean, he got like 5.5, around 6 points in the last Prem game as well. Not fantastic scores, but still, like, he's kind of on the up now that he has a chance to play with Ben Rama off to AFCON, warming the bench for, I think, Algeria, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, and the next year of shots attempted is 5 shots. A bit of a list here. Buendia had 1 on target. Rafinha had 0 on target. Edouard of Crystal Palace had 1 on target. Anthony Gordon, 3 of his 5 on target. 2 of them being goals. I was quite upset about that. Having shouted Anthony as a good pick episodes ago, I went and grabbed Godfrey with Anthony Gordon free. My opponent grabbed Gordon and killed me because of it. Moving on though, Ings had 3 of his 5 shots on target. Lanzini had 3 of his 5 shots on target, another player who had the double game week. And finally, Martinelli had 1 of his 5 shots on target. Thoughts, Ross?
Kane is on the up too. It seems like he's getting back on the score sheet more regularly, getting more chances.
Yeah, I mean, that happens when you don't play midfield, so.
Yeah. And yeah, Gordon was, you're right, like, it was one of those things where, like, he might perform, but he wasn't almost there, and then, like, he just kind of, like, ripped it through.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, Rafinha shots, but not on target. I don't think that's anything uncommon that we've seen from him.
Yeah, and I mean, Edouard, right? He's getting his chance, especially with Ayew and Zaha off at AFCON. Like, even the likes of Mateta, and I know he's not on this list, but like the outside guys at Crystal Palace are starting to get more opportunities, right? So they're probably going to be putting up better numbers. And we're going to talk about a few of their assets in like the second half and stuff. But yeah, I mean, and Lanzini, another player that we've been shouting last few episodes, that's kind of popped up as like a proper midfield option as well, right? Yeah. Let's move on to accurate crosses into the box. So highest number was 5 from Emerson Royale, then 4 from Tyrick Mitchell from Crystal Palace, then 3 accurate crosses into the box by Johnson from West Ham, Kenny from Everton, Mads Rasmussen, I hope I didn't butcher that name, from Brentford. I think he got a goal and an assist in that game or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. One of like the fantasy assists or something.
Something crazy like that. Yeah. Thoughts, Ross?
Again, the Royale thing, like, that's 5 points so far, and then 12 points from the key passes, but don't be, like, if you can sell him, sell him.
Like, on a high, on
a high, because I think he loses his spot if Conte gets his choice of player in this window. Yeah.
So just target the naive manager in your league is basically what Ross is saying, Yeah.
Not my words.
Okay, Mitchell though, 5 key passes, 4 accurate crosses into the box. Had a bit of a beast game week. I don't know. Do you think maybe it's just that one-off sort of game?
He also conceded like 3 goals, right? I think so.
Yeah.
Didn't they lose like 3-2?
Didn't they? Yeah, to West Ham.
Yeah, they were down 3-0, and then Ulisse came on and had the goal and assist for them.
Yeah.
Maybe it might be one off. I don't know.
Maybe. All right, and then finally we like to look at some random extra categories. So I found an interesting one of the top clearances for that game week. When you look at the top 4 players, 3 of them were West Ham defenders. But then there was a random other player in there, Dan Burn. He was tied second, only the one game that game week, with 10 clearances. Maybe with the injuries of Duffy and Dunk. I mean, Duffy I think was back, but Dunk is definitely injured. But, Burn is probably back again as a good option. We know he's great at the ghosties, even though he looks really, really awkward playing football. Another category was the aerials. Chris Wood got 14 of them,
Jeez.
Yeah.
If he was a defender, that's 14 points.
Yeah, bro. That's crazy. And then finally we look at fouls conceded and fouls suffered. Ivan Toney was such a frustrating asset this double game week.
Yeah, I feel for Ryan.
He
No, I don't.
conceded 7 fouls and he suffered five fouls. I mean, he was tied with Ayu for most fouls suffered, but Ivan Toney basically scored his lowest totals in the double game week, like his lowest points ever in both games, back-to-back games. And I sympathize with Ryan because I'm an owner in both my leagues as well. And the double game week was basically a lie this game week.
For Brentford players, apart from
I think
maybe.
Everton as well. Yeah. But Everton got that game cancelled. The bastards.
Game cancelled, right?
Yeah, I know.
But you were shitting on Jensen, and Jensen came on and got more points altogether in that 20 minutes than Ivan Toney got the entire game week. So
wait, did you end up winning because of Jensen? Or it wouldn't have mattered?
I wouldn't have. I would have still won. Yeah.
I love that you still said I won. Like, obviously I won, bro. Like, yeah. Okay. All right. So now we will move on to the league updates. Russ, how did your game week 21 go, bro?
So in the Banter Boys League, I was playing Ryan. Ryan had, I think, more minutes than me, but I don't think it didn't work out for him. Ivan Toney kind of shit the bed. He had Diop with the 10 points on the final day, which weren't enough. I almost gave Ryan a winning chance because first game was, I think, the Tottenham game, and I forgot to check my lineup for that one, and Harry Winks stayed on my bench. Harry Winks stayed on my lineup, and he came on for the last 10 minutes and gave me 1 point, and I still beat Ryan, so
I wonder if Ryan even listens to the pod when he's not on it. I don't know. We might have to ask him just to tune in at the 20-something minutes.
Not,
Suck it, Ryan.
If not, yeah, you can tell I'm still cheesed about some of the waiver moves. In the OG League, I was playing Neeraj. I won again. I am first with a game to spare, but not still behind on points for. So if I lose a game, and Daniel wins his game, I still might drop to second, but I'm hoping that Daniel doesn't have Salah, so I can still kind of win a couple more games and use this to kind of hopefully get somewhat of a lead. So I'm hoping for that possibility. But yeah, I'm first in that one.
Did you make any interesting moves, picks, trades, that sort of thing? Did you have any struggles during the double game week? Because we know during the game week, Everton lost their second game and that sort of stuff. Were you punting on any of these sort of teams?
I think it played out in my favor because Leicester had Neeraj had a couple of Neeraj started off with 11 or 12 players, and only 8 of them ended up playing because Ellison was out with COVID. Harvey Barnes who didn't play because Leicester's game got cancelled. So I think that helped me out for sure. Other than that, it wasn't a phenomenal game week for me. I had only 110 points, 107 points. So it wasn't something well, oh my God, it did so well for me. Even Matthias Jensen was my only. I had 2 double game week players, Ethan Pinnock and Matthias Jensen, and both of them were okay for me. Ethan Pinnock had 12 points.
Yeah, so what you're saying is don't worry too much about the double game weeks at the moment because everything is so unpredictable, and sometimes your single game week players have better, options for
exactly.
output for points than your double game. Don't be too concerned about the minutes is basically what we're telling managers. Mm-hmm. If you see your opponent has 3-4 extra players, they could probably still lose to you. I mean, it happened to me.
And
so.
those games can get cancelled, right? That's part of the reality of what we're living right now. So
we talk about games getting cancelled. We're recording on a Thursday evening at the moment, and this is after the Arsenal-Liverpool game. I heard Saka came off injured. There's a chance that Arsenal might file for the game versus Spurs to be postponed because they don't have enough senior players now, right? With people out with COVID and that sort of stuff. So things can change so last minute, right? And you mentioned, even with Alisson out with COVID, in that situation, would you be dropping Alisson?
That's a tough one, man. If you don't have an injury,
put your Liverpool bias aside, Russ. Come on.
if there's a goalkeeper available, you have to be, if it's a win or lose moment, like if you drop Allison and pick up, I don't know, Fabianski, and that might make you win your game week, then yeah, I'd do it.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. All right. I think now we can move across to the Banter Boys League updates. Mm-hmm. So we're looking at the DPL Community League, the Traore Triad League. So I was in that one of those situations. I had more minutes than my opponent, but I still lost by like 15, 16 points. And you know what I did was really silly, which I usually don't do. I tried to match his defense, right? And even though I was like, you know, Everton defense is shit, he had Pickford, I went and grabbed Coleman. That did not work out, right? And then their game got cancelled. He picked up Konsa, I went and picked up Courtney with a K. Did not work out, right? Like, you look at players like Semedo and Byrne, who were free in my league. I could have grabbed them. They got like 20 points each, right? Mm-hmm. And I could have easily won my game because I ended up losing by 16 points or something like that. And again, I thought, you know, because I had double game week players like Ivan Toney and Christian Norgard that, you know, I was going to smash it. But Norgard basically got like majority of points in the first game. Ivan Toney basically got no points. Like we were tracking that game, right? During that fixture, and he was basically on course to get negative points at one point. You know, so I do have an interesting question for you though. I'm a Christian Pulisic owner. Do you think it's like a time to trade him out high? He's getting game time. He's playing up front. He finally scored a goal. Like, what would you do if you own Christian Pulisic?
I do own Christian Pulisic.
Oh, lovely. So now we can chat about it. What you gonna do, bro? Like,
I'd keep Christian Pulisic. I, on the other hand, have Hakim Ziyech, and I am this close to dropping him.
Yeah, I'd drop Ziyech. I think you can. Yeah, I think you can afford to.
Yeah, if I lose out on a player, I feel like I've held on him for way too long. So, but I don't think I'm dropping Pulisic. Not anymore.
Well, the thing is, the reason I was thinking,
him,
the reason I was thinking to trade him is because I'm a Mason Mount owner, right? So like I'm covered in that sense.
Yeah, and I guess, but for you, it's also like if one starts, chances are the other might not, and especially if like, you know, you can definitely kind of like coast on that. If like, you know, if Mason Mount doesn't start, chances are that Pulisic is starting. Pulisic can also play wing back, so you can possibly kind of play both. Because I don't know, people are putting too many hopes on like Werner, and I don't think Werner's starting anymore.
Who's putting hopes on Werner, bro? Who are these people that you're talking to?
Just people in some groups.
No. You need to correct them, people, yo. Okay, another player I have in this league that I kind of want to chat to you about is Marcus Rashford. So I got this audacious deal from one of the guys in this league. I think he offered me Kante, Kovacic, Ziyech, and Timo Werner for Marcus Rashford. I know it sounds crazy.
Is that even possible?
It's not. I obviously have to drop players because of illegal roster situations, but he wants Marcus Rashford for me. And I mean, Ralph Ragnick came in, looked like he was going to be the real deal for Manchester United, and now he's stuck to his guns a bit too hard, playing this 4-2-2-2-2-2-2-2-2-2-2 formation.
Yeah.
Basically looks like two penises on the field, right?
Yeah.
And they're playing shit. Honestly, they've looked terrible, and I feel like they're scraping by with luck in some of their results recently.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So what would you do as a Rashford owner?
Why are our teams so similar?
Because we're so similar. We're so awesome. Yeah. That's what it is, you know? Yeah.
I don't know what to do with Rashford, man. I don't think anyone's going to trade for him. Initially, I was like, give me Robertson for Rashford, but I don't think that flies anymore. If you can convince some United fan to pick him, like get him from you, then like sure. But at this point, I'm like, it's like if he starts, I then even consider about starting him. He has a double game week this week, right? So he's definitely in my starting lineup right now. But if he's not going to start the first game, chances are I'm not going to like, you know, like keep him on even if he does come off the bench for one game and possibly start the other game. So,
and like this is a player that we would want to be aiming like second round in draft. Latest third round, sometimes even potentially first round, because we know how awesome he has been in previous seasons, right?
Exactly.
As a goal scorer. So, yeah. It's a tough one. But yeah, I had a loss in that league. I don't want to talk about it too much. But, shout out to Joe and the boys from the Draft Society. We love them. They love us. So, kudos. I'll get you back in the cup, bro. Don't worry. You beat me twice in the league, third time's a charm. I'm a bank on that shit. But there was one thing that happened in that league, a trade I also do want to talk to you about. Ruben Diaz for Azpilicueta. How do you feel about that?
Winner being Ruben Diaz at the moment.
Because Azpi is going to the Club World Cup.
That he hasn't been a regular starter. And Reece James is on and off from injury. But now we know that he has 2 or 3 players that can play that position in Pulisic and Callum Hudson-Odoi. So I don't know if I trust that, solid clean sheet guaranteed Chelsea anymore either. So yeah, Ruben Diaz is the winner for me. Man City are coasting on the league at the moment, and eventually, they're just winners at the moment. So
yeah, bro, it's so upsetting that City might actually win the league again.
Yeah, but I'm used to it. We're used to it. Liverpool got their win, so hopefully
you're good for another decade or whatnot.
Yeah, 20 years or whatever.
All right, so the next league that we're going to jump to is the International Genie League. Over there, we play in the Sunday League. We got another loss, unfortunately, 130 to 81. We got spanked, basically. Yeah, it wasn't fun. Another, Ivan Toney owner there. I tried to punt on Vlasic, but again, that didn't work out. Yeah, just losses everywhere, bro. So let's not spend too much time on the loss. I want to talk to you about some of the waiver picks that I made in that league, though. I dropped players like Godfrey, Maguire, and Vlasic for Olise, Kante, and Schlupp. What do you think about that? Given because Zaha and Ayu are not there, I figure Olise might get a bit of a run now, right?
Kante, not he has been injury prone this season, and there it is it's not back-to-back games, but it is kind of consecutive games, right? They played on Thursday or they played on Wednesday. They're playing again this weekend, and then they have the double game week as well. So, and they have 2 tough fixtures, don't they? City and
Brighton. Brighton's a tough fixture now, are they? I guess they are.
Yeah. Okay. City's one tough fixture.
Yeah.
But so it's kind of one of those things. But yeah, I guess it's kind of what's available for the players that you dropped. That sounds about right. Godfrey, Maguire, and Vlasic are I think Vlasic might lose his spot now that Fornals is back, right?
Yeah,
but
potentially.
Apparently Fornals and Lanzini were kind of playing the double pivot beside Declan Rice.
Oh, because Souček was missing, right?
Yeah, Souček was missing, right? So...
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, okay, so then finally we like to talk about Perfect 11, but there's a new season of Perfect 11 starting, so if you've never played it, it starts game week 22, so if you're listening to the pod in time, then go quickly register, the link. I mean, even if you start a game week late, you can probably still pass us because of how shit we are. I don't think Ryan's gonna play again. I think because of all these midweek postponements and stuff, it kind of put him off. And we kind of just punted on all the double game week teams like Everton and Brentford, and they basically fucked us this last, tournament or whatever. So I ended up finishing 62nd. Ryan finished 48th. I thought 62nd was quite impressive, having missed an entire game week, and I ended up 99th at one point. So I'm gonna take that as a win, But I definitely am playing season 3, so 3rd time's a charm. Hopefully I make top 10. Okay.
Fingers crossed.
Hopefully. Yeah. Okay. Russ, I think now, though, we should take our half-time pint. I'm going to go get more wine.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. See you in a bit. And we are back. Do you? So wait, you've never ever drank before in your life, ever?
No,
Wow.
no.
See, this is why we have you on the pod, to influence, good people. You're a good influence to humanity.
Hopefully.
I basically went to Sainsbury. What would be the Sainsbury equivalent to like in Canada? What would you
like
say
the
that?
Loblaws. Like the Loblaws.
Yeah, I guess
Zehrs and
so.
Loblaws?
Yeah. I would say more Zehrs. Loblaws is hella fancy.
Yeah. Oh, I find both of them are fancy, so...
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
I think Loblaws is fancier than Zehrs. I don't know. We might need to put a poll on our Twitter to ask our listeners
What's
what do you think is fancier. Yeah.
Yeah. They're the same thing, though. So.
Yeah. I went and got a cheap Malbec from what is it, Sainsbury? It's from Argentina. A very, very recent year, 2020. It's okay. It's okay. I don't know. It's all right. Yeah. But anyway, we've got some Twitter questions. Well, actually, one question, and it's somebody that we kind of talked about earlier. So, yeah, let's run through that one question then.
Yeah. So I think this is the first time this person's asking a question for us, with us, for us.
No, he's asked us questions before, I think.
Oh, maybe my memories of.
He's one of my boys. He's one of my boys from back home. Yeah.
Kareem Gomez at the Gomzi. Is Coutinho expected to be starting, given the starting spot, or does he have to earn it? That said, who misses out when he gets his chance?
So,
it's a good question.
Like, Jacob Ramsey obviously gets benched, right?
Coutinho plays on the wing, or Coutinho plays in the middle three?
Well, I mean, El Ghazi's gone, so that's less competition. Trezeguet is not there right now. I mean, you are the Coutinho experience sort of person on the pod, having, is he El Mago? Is that what they used to call him? No?
Yeah,
is he
something like that?
Yeah.
No, something like that.
Bro, El Nino is a different person, bro. Come on,
that's Fernando Torres. Sorry,
let's put some respect on that buff man right now.
MMA fighter.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, okay, so he's played both positions, right, for Liverpool?
He's played both positions for Liverpool. I'm trying to remember. I feel like he is much more effective coming through the middle, but he was also constantly played out wide as like the winger, the left winger or whatever, right? But I feel like he's much more effective when he's coming through the middle, when he has people to look out for, because he has an incredible vision that he can find players, right? So I'm thinking about like players like not just Danny Ings and Ollie Watkins, but also whoever kind of plays up front as like that third winger, as that third spot, and like that
like
might also
Bertrand.
kind of increase the Bertrand Traore when Bertrand Traore is back from AFCON, right?
Yeah.
Like things like that, right? Or when like Leon Bailey kind of like gets back fit or whatever, or whoever. But at this point, I think he plays. It's like him and Buendia are like two players that can kind of like inner swap. One would start in the midfield, one would start on the wing, and then they'd kind of rotate depending on like, Coutinho feels like he has more time or can get more done from the wing, so he might switch up there, or vice versa, right? So that's what I'm trying to remember. It has been I haven't seen him since he went to Bayern or Barca or whatever, but like apart from like that one game where Bayern destroyed Barcelona, apart from that one game, from what I remember, he is much more effective coming through the middle. But one thing that does fault him is that he tends to go missing sometimes. Like, you'll forget that Coutinho was even playing. So that consistency was still there when we had our great Champions League run. Or I guess, no, never mind. He was gone before that. He was gone like halfway through that season anyways. So that's what I'm trying to remember, is that like he does go missing, and in a team like Aston Villa, does Gerrard put up with that? Does Gerrard kind of like, force, like, like essentially coach him to be like, hey, like if you go missing, I'm going to bench you, like, play some, like do some like tough love on it, because that's kind of what it kind of comes down to at the end of the day, right? Is that he's obviously make this move because he wants more playing time, and Barca wanted to kind of ship him off. He's played with Gerrard before as a player, but not as a manager. Gerrard, in his own interview, has talked about that last couple of years definitely being like the start of like his coaching kind of mindset developing. But Gerrard's a completely different manager than he was a player. So, which is like his own words. So, how much does that translate onto like what Gerrard expects of Coutinho and how Coutinho kind of fits in that team? I think because of injuries and lack of players, he does get the starting spot for now. But when like the likes of Leon Bailey hopefully come back fully fit and Bertrand Traore comes back and Trezeguet comes back, he might have to fight for that position. We are seeing some of that already with Buendia not fully starting all the time, but like I think him having a teammate like Danny Ings too, who's very injury prone, might also kind of help his case, right? I think right now he starts, but in the future he will have to earn a spot when hopefully Aston Villa do get fully fit, kind of in like a month or two from now.
Because I mean, Gerrard is playing 4-3-3 basically, with a back four. So let's ignore the defense. Let's ignore the goalkeeper. Let's look at all the other players. In my head, Douglas Luiz and McGinn definitely nailed. I know McGinn is missing out this game week because of suspension stuff, but moving forward, those guys are nailed. You'd think Watkins is nailed, right? So that leaves 3 more spots in my head, right?
Yeah.
Danny Ings, maybe in and out, depending on injury. Like, he would probably start more often than not if he's fit, right? So that leaves 2 more. Buendia, Jacob Ramsey.
In and out too,
and
right? Bertrand, yeah. And right now, there's no, Bertrand Traore, Trezeguet, and Coutinho. That's like, you're not competing for 8 players, right? So
no. But the thing is, in my head, is if Gerrard's all about the energy in midfield and, you know, about like keeping clean sheets or whatever like that, is it wild to think that maybe Jacob Ramsey keeps his spot and then Buendia loses his spot to Coutinho? Because Buendia really hasn't lit up this season at all.
Yeah, but he has also not gotten like the proper game time, right? Like, so there's definitely something happening on the training ground which Dean Smith saw and Gerrard is also still kind of seeing. So I think there is a case for that. So so that's what I mean. I think right now Coutinho starts, but moving forward, it might still be kind of up for debate whether he starts his position, because if Gerrard sees the same laziness possibly kind of Buendia is putting, or not the same level of work that he expects, which we have seen in the past when he played for a Jurgen Klopp team, then yeah, I'd expect him to kind of like bench. I feel like Gerrard's the type of manager that doesn't shy away from tough love. So if Coutinho does move in and out of games, right? I'm, as someone who watched Coutinho regularly week in, week out, like we saw like the 40-yarder goal and like the curling shot and whatever, right? The dribble past 5 players and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's done it at Stamford Bridge. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But you also saw, not equally, I'm not going to say equally, but you also saw enough times to know that he can coast on those performances. So his season leading up to his transfer was 7 goals and 6 assists. 7 assists and 6 goals in 14 games. So it was a pretty solid start to the season. Part of that would have also been like he's transferring to Barcelona, and this would kind of like get him that transfer for sure. But like sometimes, like, you know, he might be too much of a focal point to then disrupt the system too. And that's what we saw when he left Liverpool, where Mane, Firmino, and Salah truly kind of gelled into like that front 3 that we know. So
okay, that's fair. All right, thanks so much for your question, Cream. So before we move on to our final segment, I want to catch up on the January transfers that we've had so far. Now, we're not going to discuss the full list, like we have the full list here in our notes, but I've highlighted a few key ones that I think, you know, just ones that might have gone on waivers, free agent moves, that sort of stuff. I mean, we're not going to discuss Ferran, but I mean, if you're a Ferran Torres owner, definitely drop his ass because he is playing in a different league now, right? He's gone to Barcelona.
10% still owns him. 20% still owns him.
Something stupid. Yeah. They probably don't listen to us. That's their fault. So, but we mentioned Vitaly Mikolenko. I hope I didn't butcher that. Moved from Dynamo Kiev to Everton. I know we don't have any Fantrax data on him, but would you be keen on him, or is it more like a watch and see sort of situation?
I really want to pick him up, to be honest. I think this is a player
he was decent at the Euros as well. Yeah.
He specifically brought him in because, they've been kind of struggling at the left back spot. So I'm pretty keen on him.
What about Poundland version of Kieran Tierney, Nathan Patterson, moved from Rangers to Everton?
That's going to be interesting too because I don't know. With Everton altogether, even if they're getting a couple of players, I was reading on one of the subreddits that you sold your best player in Luka Dean only for Rafa Benitez to be sacked in about 3 weeks from now. So because Everton aren't playing that well, so it's Mikolenko I'm a bit more keen on. With any player that comes from the SPL, it's always a wait and see for me because of how single-sided or two-sided those leagues are.
Yeah. That's a fair point. I mean, but KT made that transition like a boss.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he did. Not
you never know
immediately, but he did.
Yeah. Okay, next player I want to look at is Kieran Trippier from Atletico Madrid to Newcastle for 12 million. Would you be keen on him?
Would Chris Wood to aim for? Yeah, kinda, man.
I mean, he's got that Atletico defensive DNA in his blood as well. I mean, his first game for the club resulted in a loss in the cup, though. So
against Cambridge United or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. A bit keen. It'll be. He's obviously has the talent, right? But do they keep up? They still have a squad that is not up to par for Premier League standards at the moment. So, can two players completely turn around the whole system? We'll just find out. We'll just have to kind of wait and see.
Yeah, so we talked about Coutinho already moving from Barcelona as part of that loan move. One of the other players Aston Villa got, though, Luka Dean from Everton for 25 million. I cannot believe Everton got rid of this talented left back. How do you feel about that? Matty Target benched? No? Surely?
Yeah, man. I have Matty Target in both my leagues, and I'm pretty disappointed with that. So, yeah.
Because, I mean, the way Gerrard sets up, his fullbacks get to attack. They get to bomb forward. And we know how good Luka Dean is going forward. So...
Yeah. But maybe Matty Target becomes a winger.
Or one of the left centre backs. Do you think Gerrard would ever play a back five?
I don't know. I'm not fully sure. Yeah. So depending on what's not working for him, and the 4-3-3 is working for him, and Matty Target is working for him. So it would let's see if Luke and Dean can actually displace Matty Target. So
yeah, one to watch. And then finally Chris Wood, Burnley to Newcastle for 25 million. How you feel about that one?
Dropping Callum Wilson now, I guess. He is out for about 7-8 weeks.
Yeah.
Chris Wood is more...
he's a proven striker in the Prem.
Yeah, he's a proven striker. 10 plus goal, right? So he's at the 4 goal mark or something. So, yeah, it'll be good. And that's what I'm kind of talking about. That partnership between Trippier and Chris Wood, right? Does it actually kind of spark or something? Can they actually kind of find him out? Does Chris Wood go from a team that's been super defensively, just sound, or from a manager that kind of sets up that philosophy, to a manager that kind of thinks on the other side of that, right? Because Eddie Howe is more about free-flowing football and, all that stuff. So does Chris Wood transition into that? coming into that. How well he transitions into that is also going to be interesting to see.
So I saw someone spend 42 fab on Coutinho. Do you think that's too much? Like, how much fab are you
No.
dropping on any of the players that we mentioned just now? Like,
I think Coutinho is good for anything over, like, anything over 75 is maybe a bit too much for Coutinho. So I think 41, 42 is pretty good for that, considering that if you have just enough to kind of get you to the rest of the season, because you're not going to expect maybe any more big transfers. So in that sense, Luka Dean would have probably been in most manager squads, but not anymore. Like, I was expecting Luka Dean to go to like Barcelona or something. That's what I was.
yeah, I didn't think he was gonna go to Villa for sure.
Yeah,
That was like a gazump.
yeah. Chris Wood, I think, is owned in majority of leagues, so that's or is now definitely owned in majority of leagues. Kieran Trippier, I think, is a good 35-40 possibly as well, especially if you have the extra fab to kind of blow on players, right? So
Yeah, I spent my entire budget on Coutinho, $4.
nice.
Get him.
Did you get him? Oh, you missed out one player though. El
Who's
Ghazi.
that? Yeah, El Ghazi to Everton. You know, I was gonna wait until the FA picks or whatever, but yeah, let's talk about El Ghazi.
It is official.
Is El Ghazi
so
really gonna start, bro?
Yes.
Over who? The awesome Alex Iwobi?
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
Probably. I think he starts. His first fixture is... They couldn't have come at a better time because it is Norwich. So...
Or is the better time the next game, which is versus Aston Villa? So he scores
There you
against his
go.
old club.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So,
Or does Digne
you know.
score against Everton, his other old club?
well, both
sort
can
of thing?
score.
Yeah,
I feel like
basically.
Digne might have more to prove to Rafa.
Oh, he's
than
gonna be
El
so
Ghazi
pissed.
to-
Yeah. If I was Digne, I was gonna try and get goal, clean sheet, assist. Yeah, that sort of thing.
The whole 9 yards.
Yeah. All of them. All right. Now let's move on to our last segment, the waiver picks. So typically for this one, we like to mention players that are under 50% owned because we think it's easier for you to grab them in your league. Assuming your league is really, really shitty. But yeah, I don't know. Let's get started though. Russ is going to take the home teams. I'm going to take the away teams. Starting us off is Brighton versus Crystal Palace.
So this is a double game week for Brighton and Crystal Palace?
No, just Brighton. Yeah.
Dan Burn, 22%. Jakob Motor, 7%. And Veltman, 32%.
Yeah, so Jakob Mura has kind of popped up recently as a proper option. I mean, we talked about Danbin getting his minutes and stuff like that. So, I don't know. Like, I still feel like Brighton are spoiled for depth. Like, Pascal Gross doesn't even start anymore, bro.
Yeah.
Like, what's up with that?
That's the only unfortunate thing. So maybe Dan Burn is a more nailed on, but you're right. Veltman and Motor are definitely, like, you don't want it to be that, like, they start in the first game of the double game week, but are benched in the second game of the double game week.
Yeah, so you might want to be careful with that one.
Yeah.
And like Friday games are always tricky as well. So just be super careful with that. All right, so Crystal Palace, a couple players here. Is it Michael Elise? I don't know. I'm just going to say Elise. I feel like I got his first name wrong. But Elise, yeah. 45% owned because Zaha and Ayew are not there. This kid is proper talent, yo. He off the bench with a goal and assist. Though, I mean, when we've seen him start, he's gotten negative points as well, right? So, I mean, it's up to you whether or not you want to start him. Mitchell, 28% owned, 5 key passes in his last game. Will Hughes is one that I own in my league. I got him for 3 fab recently, 26% owned. A midfielder that just kind of ticks along with ghost points here and there. He's on corners as well. And Jeffrey Schlupp, Premier League winner, 9% owned. When he plays, he gets points. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
He gets points.
Yeah.
Okay, next game, Man City versus Chelsea.
You can expect for Man City that there's not going to be anyone. There's not even... I don't even know if Man City are signing anyone either, so...
Who they going to sign, bro? Where are they gonna play, bro? Like they have so much
somewhere.
depth. Like they're spoiled
Yeah.
for depth. And like same thing with Chelsea. Like all our midfielders are back. Like unless we get a last minute injury, like, maybe Ruben Loftus-Cheek 13% owned. But I wouldn't bank on it. We can move on to the next game: Burnley versus Leicester.
Even though it's a Burnley double game week, I don't want to really, anyone that's already picked up is probably already gone. So like there's the players like, you know, Josh Brownhill or like Collins if he starts, but there's not really anyone that you would really want, even if it's a double game week for Burnley.
And with Leicester, I mean, there's a few players, right? Luke Thomas, he's been showing some promise as the fullback, 27% owned, has some ghosties every now and then. Soyuncu's coming back from injury, 32% owned. James Justin, now hear me out, 17% owned. I mean, he's probably going to be on the bench, but moving forward, he might be a sneaky asset to grab, because I was looking at Leicester for options and they basically look like a fucking amusement park. 6 flags, bro. Like they got so many flags, bro. All the flags. I mean, because outside shot, Albrighton 7% owned because they have so many injuries. Albrighton, we know he can be a ghost machine every now and then, so he might get some minutes. But I mean, maybe be careful of that because they have a double game week. He might play first game, might not play second game, sort of thing, right? Assuming Castani is back, that sort of thing. So yeah, just be careful with that. All right, next game: Newcastle versus Watford.
With Newcastle, Kieran Trippier 46% owned. That number might go up by like the weekend. So if you do really want him, get him. And then second player, Joel Linton, 38%.
Yo, Joel Linton is reborn right now, bro.
I don't know why people are sleeping on him right now.
He's beastin', fam. Beastin'.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Watford. So couple of forward players because, I mean, well, the thing is Dennis was supposed to go to AFCON, but some drama happened, you know. So I was going to say, like, grab Pedro, 13% owned, maybe over Cucho, 17% owned, because Cucho is so unpredictable. And I feel like Pedro is probably just naturally better, like, talented-wise. But if you don't trust those and you really want to back the terrible Watford defense, Sierra Alta, 12% owned. Doesn't matter if this guy concedes, he scores points. He gets ghosties. Go pick him up if you need a defender. Seriously. I mean, I know it's a terrible suggestion, Watford defense, but this guy just scores points, and that's what we're about. So, next game, Norwich versus Everton.
All of Norwich's players are less than 50% owned. Did you know that? I mean, it's not surprising.
I mean, it's not. I feel like that's the first time that I've ever heard of such a thing.
Timo Pukki is like 43% owned, which
that's
is
crazy.
max.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But
you might as well just delete them from the game then, basically.
I'm not going to recommend anyone, though. So
really? No one? Damn.
Not really, man. Like, a bunch of their players are out. Timo Pukki did start off a pretty, like, you know, went on a good run of form, but, like, has been pretty quiet recently, so...
I mean, Everton are shit at defense at the moment. Would it surprise you if Norwich scored against them?
But Norwich are shit altogether.
Yeah, that's also true. Yeah. Okay, so for Everton, Anthony Gordon, 36% owned, but with the mighty El Ghazi at 34% owned. Who knows, bro? Who knows? Yeah. Okay, next game, Wolves versus Southampton.
Moutinho, 47% owned, and one of the only times you can get a Wolves defender, if you don't already, is Marcelo, 27% owned. Yes, he doesn't start regularly, but Wolves have one of the best defenses in this season so far. It's incredible. They're like just resilience to kind of keep clean sheets. Yeah, their forward players aren't kind of putting up the points, and it's unfortunate, but their defenders are like fire.
Bro, I think they've conceded like the second fewest goals in the Prem so far. Like
after
just
like Man City,
right? Yeah.
They've
only conceded 14 goals. I mean, guaranteed they've only scored 14 goals, but yeah. Like you're spot on with that shout. And the thing is, Marcel, I think because Saiss is off to AFCON, I think Marcel can also play left centre back. And that allows Aid Nouri to kind of slot in as well. So yeah. I like that shout for sure. Moving on to Southampton, though, couple of players. Broja, 41% owned. I was shocked that Broja was under 50% owned. What a manager's doing, man. Yeah.
I don't know. I really wanted him, but he's gone in both my leagues. People in my league are way too active, man.
Yeah, way too active. Bednarek, 38% owned. I think he scored like 3 goals in his last 5 games or something ridiculous that. Yeah. And maybe El Unisi or Diallo, if they're starting, just keep an eye on them, as possible outside shouts, just keep an eye. But next game, Aston Villa versus Manchester United.
I'm not going to actually recommend anyone from Aston Villa. I don't think there's that many players, like even with the 2 players that they've signed, they're already over 50%. Like both Luka Dean and Coutinho are over 50%. So
that's wild, yo. People be active. Manchester United. So it's weird, man. Ralph is not sticking to a consistent lineup. Like he keeps rotating his players. Like even Fred, who was like smashing it when Ralph first came in, was getting rotated. 46% owned. Even his fullbacks like Telej, 43% owned, Dallo, 32% owned, who had a nasty fucking gash in his leg. Did you see that, bro? His hole in his leg? So he posted it, I think, on Twitter or Instagram or something like that.
Jeez.
Basically, before and after. He basically had like a small little tiny hole in his leg. Yeah. Oh. Stitched him up. Yeah, nicely. McTominay, though, 40% owned. Apparently, they have a goal scorer in McTominay, McSauce, as the United fans like to call him. I don't know. Would you punt on McTominay as a midfield option right now?
There's always that one game that McTominay just like that one game per season,
that shits the bed.
He just, and then you're just gonna be like, okay, all right, never mind then. So.
Yeah. That's why I never picked you up to start. Yeah, No, that makes sense. Okay, next game, Liverpool versus Brentford.
Ox 14%, Taki Minamino 14%, and James Milner 10%. I don't think Milner starts, but I think Ox and Minamino definitely do start with Mane and Salah gone for AFCON.
Okay, we gotta have a small Liverpool discussion right now. Both your boys, Salah, Mane not here. You guys struggle to score against Arsenal, 10 men tonight. Are you worried slightly about the goals that you're not going to score? Basically.
Kind of, to be honest, yeah, kind of. It was apparent that we needed signings for this exact scenario, and even with like the King Divock Origi also injured, I am pretty kind of worried that Salah, Mane hasn't been scoring, but Mane does put a lot of pressure on defenses just with his ability to run at them, and no Thiago to kind of carry the ball forward, and you just have a very meh way of playing. And it's unfortunate that fans can see it but don't see a change, especially when you've kind of set a high standard. So yeah, I am a bit worried, but trust in Klopp, right? Doubters
and
to
the
believers,
Brentford defense
whatever.
is shit as well. Wait, what? What'd you say?
Doubters to believers. That's the first thing that he said.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Fair enough. I mean, the Brentford defense is crap as well. So
yeah.
It's good shouts, I think. But if I had to shout one player, Yanel, 30% owned. I mean, even when I saw him play in person, eye test wise, guy looks great. You saw his finish, by the way, his volley versus Southampton.
No.
Oh, you need to watch that, bro. Proper technique. Yeah. Kid's talented, for sure. Okay, next game, West Ham versus Leeds.
Vlasic, 10% owned. Masuaku, 14% owned. Ben Johnson, 17% owned. I don't know if Vlasic starts again because Fornals is back, but Benrahma is out for the next game week for sure. We don't know if he comes back after
after winning AFCON, basically.
Yeah. So
who do you think is gonna win AFCON, by the way? You
Senegal.
supporting anyone for that? Oh, okay, because of Liverpool ties, yeah.
I mean, it's only one Liverpool tie.
Edward Mendy. Like that's the reason you're supporting them.
Yeah. But apparently, I'm not supporting them. But I think Senegal have probably the best team.
So is it because Egypt lost their first game? That's why you're not supporting Salah?
I thought that was a friendly. I'm not supporting anyone. I'm not supporting. Wasn't it?
No, bro. Kelechi killed them, bro. What are you talking about, fam? They lost
Oh,
in Nigeria,
damn,
their
my
first
bad.
game.
Yeah.
Don't worry, that
yeah.
that wasn't the game that the ref blew the minute at the 85th minute.
Yeah, the 85th minute. That's jokes, man. That's jokes.
Yeah, I mean, I like those shots, but why Masuaku? Like, isn't Cresswell back? Like, are you not worried about those minutes?
I don't know. Like, Ben Johnson and Masuaku are like propping into like the minutes altogether. Masuaku came off the bench and like had the goal or assist or whatever.
The assist,
Assist, yeah. So I don't know. Like, is Cresswell back and fully fit?
He got 17.5 points, I think, this game week.
Okay.
So
yeah. maybe it's like, too much too soon too. So
maybe.
We might see Masuaku come back. So
yeah. So few leads options: Ailing 39% owned, Dan James 29% owned, and Cleek 26% owned. Now Ailing maybe like next few game weeks because their fixtures do kind of turn. They do get a bit better. Maybe kind of target him as like a defender. But Dan James, like Ross said, kind of paid off for him when he picked him up this game week. He likes to shoot a lot. We saw even over the Christmas break, his numbers, like attempted shots and stuff like that. Matthias Cleek, right? If he's back in the side and he's playing that number 10 sort of position, while especially Rodrigo's out and Bamford is still taking his time to come back. Though I think Bamford now will probably get his chance because Geldhart is injured, Tyler Roberts is injured. So, yeah, I feel like Cleek could kind of pop up as a midfield option now. And that percentage needs to be higher, in my opinion. Okay, next game, Spurs versus Arsenal. And, there's a chance that this game could get called off, but we're still going to kind of discuss it. So
yeah. Spurs players, Ben Davies, 48%. Matt Doherty, 24%, Harry Winks 5%. Spurs do have the double game week, so if it doesn't get cancelled off, these are players that might get you points. Matt Doherty, I feel like might be one of those that like starts one game and is benched the other one, or vice versa, because apparently Reguilon is tired, as per Conte. So
yeah, so much shit coming on to Spurs. No surprise. Arsenal though. Sambi 8% owned, and that's because Granit Xhaka, as usual, got his usual red card. Yeah. You see that tackle, by the way?
Ugh.
Just
so bad.
Just Xhaka doing Xhaka things, Yeah. So Sambi's gonna get a chance to play, especially because Thomas Partey is off to AFCON as well. So and Ainsley Maitland-Niles is keeping Tammy Abraham company at AS Roma. So they're kind of low on midfielders. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so just keep an eye on him. Okay, now we're gonna jump into our double game week fixtures, and the thing is, like, I don't know if we need to discuss the assets because we've kind of already mentioned them. So maybe we could probably discuss the actual fixtures and whether or not you are gonna play players from this team. Mm-hmm. So Burnley versus Watford, like you're gonna basically back Watford in this situation, right? Burnley lost their starting striker. Like, do we back Jay Rodriguez to possibly get some points and a run like, for the rest of the season?
Cornet is also gone for AFCON too, so
yeah.
Like I'm not like I wouldn't recommend Burnley before. I wouldn't recommend Burnley now, even with the double game week. So like
you'd start Sierra Alta possibly then, possibly like over like
Cucho
or Pedro.
If he's already in your lineup from the last game, then like I guess you do kind of risk it, even though they're playing. Who were they playing before? They're playing Newcastle and then they're playing Burnley. So yeah, possibly. Like those aren't super high. Like maybe Newcastle might give them trouble, but yeah, like against Burnley you can kind of see. But there's that one game that Burnley scores like 5 goals and.
I don't know if it's this game, but I mean Watford defense is terrible as well, right?
Yeah. So
okay, next game, Brighton versus Chelsea. How do you see this one playing out?
Do you think Tammy Abraham, or not Tammy Abraham, I'm saying Trevor Chalobah
bro,
is
why
back?
you gotta play with my heart so, bro? Tammy's gone, bro. He's gone.
Trevor Chalobah.
What about him? Like, I think we've got some fit defenders back, so I'm not sure he's gonna start. And the thing is, Malang Sarr actually played really well in one of the recent cup games as well. So yeah, I don't think it's like a shoo-in.
And like he's like very injury prone, man.
Kind of. A bit ish.
This season so far. Like he'll play,
He had
like-
one hamstring injury. That's it, I think.
but like he's pulled off early too because of hamstring injuries.
Like a scare about it and stuff like. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't
yeah.
be like go pick up Chalobah and go start him. I wouldn't suggest that. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, next game, Leicester versus Spurs. Spurs are terrible to look at right now, and they've lost Heung-min Son.
Mm-hmm.
Like
So-
Lucas Moura is going to be playing a bit further up forward, that sort of thing. But
Yeah.
I mean, even though Leicester don't have Vardy, Daka I think is back. Maddison is on some god form at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't. I'm kind of backing Leicester though. Like they went to Liverpool and took all 3 points, or not went to Liverpool. They took the game to Liverpool and won all 3 points and deservedly. So
Yeah. So yeah, I'd probably back the home team, I think.
Mhm.
Okay, and then final one, Brentford versus Manchester United. I mean, Brentford just can't seem to score at the moment. Their defense is really terrible without David Raya, who is due back soon. And the thing is, though, Manchester United is also really fucking terrible.
yeah,
at the
man,
moment.
like it was like a double-edged sword. So I think the midfielders for Brentford are good shouts for the double game week. So
Both Janelt and Norgard or whatever.
Norgard, Baptiste, maybe Jensen. So
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I was actually thinking of dropping Norgard in one of my leagues. You think that
But
would be a bad
there's-
decision?
they're still putting up points, so that's the weird thing. Like,
Yeah.
I think Janelt had like the one game, but like he only played like 10 minutes in that game. So
Yeah, maybe. Okay, cool. Well, that's our picks. That's the pod. Ross, you have any closing remarks, buddy?
I should get a T-shirt made that just says "Have fun" and then just thumbs
Just
up.
have fun. Hashtag
Yeah, have fun.
Fantrax?
Yeah.
I don't know. We can't use hashtag
Hash-
FPL because we don't talk
Yeah.
about that game.
No, we don't. Screw FPL.
There's a there's a bit of a quick turnaround, isn't there? Like the next game week. Kind of, isn't there? Because I mean, this game week ends on the 19th. Next game week on the 21st. I don't know if we should have combined that. We'll probably record. I think a last minute
Yeah.
pod again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess, like Ross says, just have fun, enjoy the game. You sort of, don't get too caught up in like last minute changes, postponements, that sort of stuff. Like, don't get caught up in double game weeks. Just have fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Well, I think that's good. I think we should go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
go. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hopefully people listen to it because it's like an hour long.
I know. See you on the
Yeah.
next episode, though, buddy.
Okay.
Peace.